few of the recent podcasts I've done, one was with Native Acres out in Okachi. Awesome, like just,
Yes.
country
Fabulous folks.
family. Yeah, amazing.
Fabulous folks.
And then a few others have just been agriculture based. And I'm like, there's more here. There's so many family stories in agriculture. That's what it is, isn't it?
Certainly, that generational piece is a huge part of ag, and certainly a huge part of ag here in Oklahoma. And you can kind of see that passion that gets passed down from generation. But then I think what we're really seeing now is kind of this newest generation has that passion, but then has brought kind of a new entrepreneurial spirit to a lot of these operations. And I think that's where we see kind of more technology being involved in production agriculture and some new marketing and social media, things that 10, 20 years ago you wouldn't have seen a lot of. So you see that they learned from mom and dad or grandma and grandpa, but then they've kind of gone out into the world a little bit and then came back home and said, hey, let's turn this into something even more exciting than what we've been doing. Yeah,
that reminded me of one of the Native Acres stories. Josh was saying that he has an app that tells him what the rainfall is everywhere on the farm, and his granddad still goes out every day and texts him. He's like, yeah, I know. I have an app.
Well, and that, that's the good and the challenging thing about some of our ag producers of different ages. Some of them are very set in their ways, but, now even for irrigation purposes, a lot of folks can run those pivots from their cell phone, whereas used to that might have taken half of your day going out physically to change those and check those. So it's a lot of opportunity that we see with the new technology.
Yeah, a lot of skill back in the day and trial and error, and I'm sure there's a lot of granddads and great granddads out there who are very good at what they did, but it took them a long time to get there, and now we have an app, and it's super easy to do now, right?
So many improvements. I mean, I thought that even last night so my husband and I, we raise cattle, and we were driving just our ATV that we feed with and you can push cows with, and once upon a time that was either a horse or on foot and or a wagon or something, and now you can just kind of buzz in and out and get so much more done much more efficiently.
Yeah, and not to mention the tractors that can now drive themselves by satellite.
They're pretty impressive.
That's pretty impressive. But talking about family, you grew up in Chickasha, is that right?
I did, yes. So about 45 minutes southwest of Oklahoma City. Kind of your typical 4-H and FFA kid here in Oklahoma. My family raised lots of alfalfa, soybeans, wheat. I have two sisters, and we were very active in showing horses and livestock. Went to school there, had lots of opportunities through the 4-H and FFA program as far as leadership and personal development opportunities. Went to school at Oklahoma State University in Stillwater. My husband and I both did, and we loved Stillwater and decided to stay there after we got done with school. And my husband decided to be brave and start out on his own in a cattle operation, which has been very good to us. And then I said, well, if you're going to do that, I probably need to get more of a traditional 8-to-5 type job. But we've been very, very fortunate that things have lots of hard work, certainly, and lots of ups and downs, but it has worked well for us.
So growing up, are you the oldest or are you in right?
So I'm the middle.
Okay.
And my older sister, she's actually a veterinarian. She works for Oklahoma State University as a beef extension specialist. And then my younger sister just is involved in ag, but now she's actually a school teacher. So a little bit different path, but all of us certainly attribute the opportunities that we had and a lot of our achievements to that kind of foundation we got from both of those youth development programs.
Yeah. And growing up in, kind of in and around that, were you guys pretty competitive?
Incredibly competitive, yes. There's no doubt, and kind of in everything that we do. Certainly, everything from the livestock shows to speech contests or whatever it might be. But even at our house, just a game of Scrabble gets pretty intense. So that's just kind of by nature of what we did, how we were all raised. But I think that has served us well in our professional careers as well, because we want to try to be the best that we can absolutely be within whatever area we're working in.
So growing up...
This podcast was presented by the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, who've been telling Oklahoma's story through its people since 1927. Follow them online at oklahomahof.com and definitely on Instagram at Oklahoma HOF. Catch you next episode. Cheers.